Losar, Vajrasattva, Day 2. So on Tuesdays and on Sundays, generally we, some people bow, some people don't. We don't particularly emphasize it. But since you've been coming so regularly, and since we are now actually doing Vajrasattva, which is like a tantric practice, and since we're headed into the Tara practice, which sounds like some of you are coming to, that's a time when we really do kind of the more traditional way, and so we will be bowing down, and so it's good for you to know what that is. Dan Kozar, yes indeed. Okay, if you'd like to, we'll keep the names that we've had since February 24th, and if you'd like to add names, you can do that. Let's see. Bless you. Thanks. Thank you. So we continue with our Losar sequence. As those of you who have been coming know, and I'll just remind everyone, we began on the first 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday after the Tibetan New Year, this past Wednesday and Thursday, doing the learning and doing the practice of setting our attention on our breath. And we are still doing that practice. And those of you who weren't there for that, or anyone listening who wasn't there for that, I recommend that you start with that. And for those of you who are quite new, very strongly recommend that you get very familiar with that practice, really focus on that as you're learning for this period, and see how you can wend your way toward establishing a regular daily practice. That's the first goal. That's what we consider phase 1. That can take some time. A daily practice, a regular practice, which you can do with this practice of attending to breath, which we will do today also. We've also been practicing refuge and bodhicitta on page 12. We will do that again. As we have said, this is a multivalent refuge in the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The Buddha, who is the teacher, the teaching, the Dharma, and the spiritual community, which is Sangha. And also in the 3 root bliss-filled ones. They're called the 3 roots or the 3 sources because they are the sources of practices of Tantra, and they are, in this tradition, the 3 figures that we just noted, Guru Rinpoche, Avalokiteshvara, and the Great Bliss Queen, Dechen Gyalmo. So that's who we're taking refuge in. And then we move on to take refuge, channels winds, bright orbs in what we can call the subtle body, the subtle channels, which we are straightening. One of the main reasons that we seek to sit erectly, not stiffly, but erectly, is because it does straighten the channels of the body. And this doesn't just mean what our surgeons see when they open us up, although they are also no doubt involved, but also channels, especially the channel that runs through the center of the body, aligned with the spine. And when that is in alignment, then the energy currents, which are always moving through your body, can move more fluidly. Just like we can drive faster on a straight road. Crooked road, you have to stop and go, and it's a little jerky. So when we are straight, the channels are straight. When the channels are straight, the energies move fluidly. When the energies move fluidly, the mind, your consciousness, which is always riding some energy, can also flow more fluidly. And that makes it easier actually to relax. It makes it easier to open. It makes it easier to access the dynamism of your own, we can say, natural embodied intelligence, to sit in that way. So that's why posture has its importance. And in the more subtle forms of tantric practice, we see this subtle aspect of our body actually as a refuge. So, for example, we started doing Vajrasattva practice last night. That really is an energetic practice. All of these practices are, as Harvey said, the first or second night, we're always, in some sense, training our bodies, really, which means training our energies to settle down, to flow smoothly. So when we do the practice that we did last night, which we'll do again, the Vajrasattva practice of feeling that light is coming through your body, you're taking your mind very carefully through your body. Mind is always associated with some type of energy. The Tibetans say mind rides a steed, a horse of energy. This is why massage is so powerful, because it helps to open up the body and allow the energies to flow. So when we do this Vajrasattva practice, as some of you seem to feel, there may be some kind of subtle experience in the body. It's not all intellectual by any means. That's clear. Right? You're taking your mind through your body. That means that where your attention is, your energy is. So that's why we said last night that if you feel some blockage somewhere where the light, just not flowing so easily, there's some obstruction there. Whether we would call it an emotional obstruction, a psychological obstruction, an energy obstruction, an affliction, could have different language on it. And for this practice, it's really not important to think about it. However, it may communicate to you in some way. Some image may arise, some understanding may open, but it's not like you try to figure it out. It's not that kind of a practice. But you're taking your energy, your mind through your body, and if you feel that there's kind of a stuck place, sometimes putting your attention there. I said last night, breathe through that place. But what happens when you breathe through a certain place? It means your attention is there, which means that the energy of your attention is already working in that place. So it may allow something to shift. Again, it's not something you can force. None of these practices, as I think you're understanding already, is about forcing or making anything happen. We are supplicants. We are seekers. We are seekers of refuge, and we are open to the possibility of the practice flowing through us and opening and revealing in any way that it might do. But it doesn't mean that we can just decide that today's the day that my mind is not going to stray from my breath. Okay, not that kind of force, as I mentioned last night. Because force is is going to be when we talk about not being too tight and not being too loose, or as Maciek Lepton says, as Harvey mentioned, is kind of a theme really for all of our practices, tighten within tightness. So you want to be a little bit alert and there, and not just like you're ready to go to sleep. There's some intentionality. Intentionality is different from force. I have the intention of allowing my mind to rest on my breath for as long as possible, as steadily as possible, as deeply as possible, becoming as clear as possible, and also to become able to rest on my breath and be in a state of attention no matter what's happening around me. That's my aspiration. That is my intention. That is my orientation. But it's not that I will it to happen. I'll just get into a fight with myself. And then afterwards I'll beat myself up because I didn't make it happen. So I want to relieve all of you of the illusion that you can make it happen. What you can do, however, is you can show up on a regular basis and do your practice. And that's the key. Okay, so that's been a little bit of a review of where we've been. Again, if this is new to you, I suggest you go back to Wednesday, Thursday, and listen to that. And all of these Losar sessions are going to be on Justin TV, and you can go back to them as you feel ready to do so. Any questions before we start about what we've been doing, for those of you that have been here? It's getting familiar? Yes, Daniela. In general, we say that when we talk about Guru, Deva, and Dakini, that the blessings come from the Guru, and the siddhis, the feats or accomplishments, come through the Deva, in this case Avalokiteshvara, and the ability to engage in enlightened activities, which is of course what we all want to engage in as soon as we're enlightened, is the Dakini, the swift lady. So Green Tara, whom we meet tomorrow, she is a Dakini. And the Great Bliss Queen is Yeshi Tsogel. She's considered the Queen of the Dakinis. Right. Anything else? There was another hand up. No? Okay. So we'll begin with Great Blazing Bliss, Mipam Rinpoche. We're singing in English. Sometimes in the next couple of days we'll sing it in Tibetan, so you can feel that. Om Ahom Hri, great bliss, blazing power, palace where wisdom ones know bliss and emptiness, blissful lotus ones with no wanting. Glory shines from there. True form Amitabha, Dorje Lokesh, Lord compassion, passionate. Lotus, Lord master of world and peace. Power, Heruka, outshines all things. Sangwa Yeshe Vajravarahi, Dem Chodis, our king, great bliss treasure. Mind muse Rikshe rules all mudras. High-low dancing in bliss emptiness. Power wielding Dak and Daki horse, you know seen and empty as the same. You dance your Vajra form, shakes three worlds, your laugh and ceaseless speech rouse three realms. Red light rays suffuse all worlds in peace, stir and gather world peace essences. Grant the 2 feet our supreme desire, Vajra passion of your own heart mind. With great Vajra hooks and lassos you bind to great bliss, all you know and see. Dance, play in the endless magic net, like sesame pods burst open with three roots, power, God, host, vast array. Bless and grant us with respect, I pray, for unhindered city power in all feats high and low that I desire. And take a moment to find your posture, your alignment. We take this moment so that you can allow yourself to settle down, settle into the moment, release all of the thoughts and wantings and concerns that have been grabbing you during the day. They actually have no substance at all. They can simply dissolve. They can float away like a leaf on a running stream and leave you clean of them, just simply present in your body, sensing your breath. And you can use this initial moment also to see if once you have straightened, your neck is long, your chin tucked under just a little bit, if your shoulders are ready to release, you can allow them, if they will, to relax a bit. And your mouth is also relaxed, ordinary position. Your tongue is gently just up against the back of your palate. Your teeth, everything is very natural. Be with that and let your attention come to your breath and be present to it. I'll sing an invocation as you take these moments to settle in a little further. Kyabda Kyalwanam Tang Yerme Pe Gandrin Sumden Chinchan Lama Che Ridzin Jorme Tubden Jatsola So Wadeb So Nyamlen Tarchin Sho. And as before, feel that your father and your male relatives are seated with you to your right. Your mother and your female relatives on your left. Any difficult people, beings in front of you. And surrounding you, all around, are all of the beings, friends, strangers, acquaintances. All the beings of the entire world are here with you, gazing into space at the luminous Lama, Guru Rinpoche, coalescence of all sources of refuge, embodiment of all wisdom and compassion, actually mirroring to you the wisdom and compassion already nascent and ready to emerge in you. And with that, we sing the refuge, English, Tibetan, English. Feeling that you are leading this whole group of people, acknowledging your longing for real refuge, real respite, real safe shelter. In three real jewels, three root bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this Bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love mandal, until full Bodhi I seek refuge. Kunjok sum ngete shek tawa sum, zalung tigle rang shing chanjup sem, ngo orang shing tu checking gorla, chanjup ning vevardu jup suchi. In three real jewels, three root bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this Bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love mandal, until full Bodhi I seek refuge. And now rays of light stream down from the luminous Lama, and as soon as this light touches you and all these beings with you, we are dissolved into light, and as light are drawn up into the luminous Lama, light to light, heart to heart, mind to mind, we unify with that essential wisdom and compassion. And then as this luminosity, we begin to dissolve from the outside in toward your own heart, as Guru Rinpoche, melting and melting like clouds vanishing, melting in until just one drop of light with your heart remains. And this too dissolves into luminous open space. And you taste that for as long as you can taste it, and then when thoughts again arise, we all reappear as before. The luminous Lama as well. And having just experienced the open clarity of luminous space, we express our intention to come to rest in the clear sphere of our own nature, so that we can help all beings rest in that way, and in that way find real peace. Oh, not like moons in water, sights deceive us, we ever roam bound in cyclic chains, so all may rest in their clear mind sphere, high rays Bodhi through four boundless days. Ho na tok nang wa chu de tsun rei ji, kor wa lu gu jun du jambe dro, rang re ge sa ying su ngao se chir, sem e shi ying hang ne sem je do. Oh, like moons in water, sights deceive us, we ever roam bound in cyclic chains, so all may rest in their clear mind sphere, high rays Bodhi through four boundless states. And now the luminous Lama of all wisdom and compassion melts into light, and this light melts completely into your own mind. All those qualities just mixing with your mind right now. And with that, we begin our session of cultivating attention. Place your attention on your breath. Allow your attention to rest on your breath. Your inhale, your exhale, just as you normally and comfortably do. particularly aware of the relaxation that comes with your exhale. And whenever you notice that your attention has gone elsewhere, you just gently bring it back and begin again. That's the process. You rest as long as you're able, and when you discover you've gone elsewhere, you place and rest again. We'll do 2 short, about 6-minute sessions of this. I'll chime the bell after 6 minutes. I'll do another 6 minutes. take a moment to shift your posture if you like. In the Vajrasattva practice, today we'll sing the actual words, which describe what we already did yesterday. This describes what we're imagining, that this figure, whose picture is here, who is Vajrasattva, is on our crown, arising from the letter Hung, white, has jewels, is holding a Vajra, means a scepter like this, and also a bell. And around his heart the mantra circles, and the nectar that we spend time experiencing in this practice really is started by this mantra flowing, and this is cleansing anything, any illness, any harm, any faults, any obstructions. So let's just sing that. At my crown on lotus moon, from whom Lama Dorje Sem, white jeweled clear with Vajra bell, round whose Yab-yum moon heart hung, mantra circles, nectar flows, cleansing ills, harm, faults, and lies. So what we just said, at my crown, on the lotus flower that we mentioned yesterday, and on top of the lotus is a moon disk, a flat white orb. For a moment the letter Hung is there, this letter Hung which is at the bottom of the page. And then instantly this transforms into Dorje Semba, which is Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva is Sanskrit, Dorje Semba is Tibetan. Vajra mind. And white, jeweled, clear, with Vajra bell, round whose Yab-yum moon heart hum, Yab and Yum are mother and father, male and female, as are presented here, and around the heart is circling the mantra. The nectar flows from there. It cleanses us completely. Before we go into the visualization of the nectar descending, let's all slowly say the 100-syllable mantra together. It's on page 14. And then those of you who know it by heart will continue to say it. The others of you, put your book down for now and focus on the sense of the nectar coming down as we did yesterday. But we'll say it together once. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Chenopa Tishta Dirdo Me Bawa Sutokaya Me Bawa Supokayo Me Bawa Anurakto Me Bawa Sarva Siddhi Me Trayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Titam Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Munse Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sata Ahom Ped. Once you know the mantra, you say it yourself as the nectar descends. So now those of us who know it will say it, and all of us feeling, as yesterday, so this luminous Vajrasattva being, a being of powerful purity, is ready to cleanse away all that obstructs us, all that stands between ourselves and recognition of our true and pure nature. Whether it's physical illness, whether it's some kind of wrongdoing, and we bring to mind whatever wrongdoing we are aware of, or for this moment, one or two things that you are aware of, and feel regret, not guilt, but regret, contrition. And reaching deep into the pure expanse of your actual nature within that sense of what you really are, determine that you will never do it again. And feel that you will never do it again. Whatever your ordinary mind tells you, a kind of common sense knowledge that it's a pretty strong tendency and that part of you feels you will do it again. But in this moment, tap into that expanse which is actually fully capable of not doing this again, not repeating this. So, with that aspiration and intention, the nectar begins to flow. This is luminous light. It's nectar, it's ambrosia, it's described as camphor. It's a healing flowing that descends down from the heart of Vajrasattva, full of the blessings of Vajrasattva, a great enlightened being. Descends down, comes down through the stem of the flower that rises from the center of your skull. It too is made of light. So this nectar is pouring down through the center of your skull, pouring down through your entire crown and skull area, and washing and cleansing and healing and opening and clarifying. And take it through the rest of your body at your own pace. We'll walk it through together, and then you'll sense it moving wherever you need to focus. So it's descending down also through your throat, cleansing away any kind of obstructions to higher creativity, to expression, to energetic unfolding. That nectar is pouring through your throat, clarifying, opening, healing, spilling across as well to your shoulders, and not just the surface, but in your bones, in your marrow, really suffusing every part of your body and your being, moving through from your right elbow, right shoulder to your right elbow, flowing down from shoulder to elbow, not just on the surface, but the muscles, the sinews, glands, small veins, just everything is being flowed through with light, and is going to become so cleansed and healed that it actually becomes light to your own experience. And from your elbow on down to your wrist, through your entire forearm, every part of it being touched by this healing, cleansing nectar, moving through the palm of your hand, through each finger, thumb, the joint of the thumb, to the very tip of the thumb, all around the nail of your thumb. Maybe parts of your body that you never send your attention to, but now it's there. Your forefinger, third finger, ring finger, pinky. You can do this as slowly or as quickly as feels right to you. And it's continuously flowing down through your crown, pouring down through the center of your body, and now paying attention to its flow from your left shoulder through to your left elbow. Deep, deep in the tissue, in every pore. From your left elbow through to your left wrist. And if you have any kind of ache or pain, some area here, bring your attention and the light especially there. Your thumb, forefinger, middle finger, through all the joints of these fingers, ring finger, pinky. And the flow is still flowing, the drops are still descending, moving through your crown, your throat, and down through the core of your body. Your upper chest, your heart, your lungs. It is said many people hold grief in the lungs, so if you have a sorrow, Let the light come there. Dissolve it. Touch it gently. Kidneys, your liver, your intestines, all the way down to the bottom of your body. From your right hip joint through to your knee, your right knee. The light pouring through your upper leg there, clarifying. Said we often hold fear in the legs. You may even have a memory somehow may arise for you. Not necessarily, but if it does, it's fine. Pouring through every part of your leg. Depth of the inside. Also through the skin. Past your knee and flowing now down through your shin. Front of your foreleg, moving through every vein and artery that's present in your foreleg, moving down to your ankle, surrounding your heel, your sole, over the top of your foot, the big toe, the next toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, your little toe. All is light. And the cascade continues down from the heart of Vajrasattva, pouring through your crown, descending down your throat, center of your body. And we follow it now from your left hip through to your left knee. Deep, deep inside the tissue there, the muscles, the sinews. Around the knee and moving down again to your ankle, through your shin, front of your leg, inside the bone, shin bone. Suffusing all the little bones and muscles of the foot, coming around the heel, pervading the sole, suffusing the surface, deep in each toe, big toe, second toe, each little joint of each toe, each pore, the little bones, the third toe, the fourth toe, the little toe. And now as we chant the mantra, let the flow continue, take it wherever you would take it. And feel also that as it washes through you, it's actually releasing from your body all kinds of negativities which descend deep into the earth, 9 stories down. And standing under you, 9 stories down, are any sorts of beings to whom you owe any kind of debt, any sort of debt at all, beings that you've harmed, to whom you've wished ill, that you've borrowed something from and not repaid. And they're all standing there. And especially there is the big ogre-like looking demon of death, which represents whatever might cut your life shorter than it could otherwise be. And you're feeding all of these beings with what is descending from your body. And what descends, in the case of purifying illness, pus, blood, that sort of thing. In the case of purifying wrongful deeds, ink, coal, those sorts of things, and also whatever appears to your imagination. If you have a worldview which feels that there might be some kind of a negative spirit that has taken up too much domain within you. This exudes from your body in the form of bugs, spiders, cockroaches. You get the idea. So all of these things are descending from your body. The impurities are leaving you, and they descend deep into the earth, and they transform into exactly whatever it is these beings beneath you want. Don't get too carried away with that story, but you can let your imagination open. The main thing is feeling the light flow through you and the release of whatever needs to be cleared away, going deep into the earth and being transformed into something positive that is pleasing to another being. And especially satisfying and disarming any energies that would be harmful to you, particularly to your life strength. So focus on the flow. Those of us who know the mantra will sing the mantra, which you can learn at your own pace to include in this practice. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Narada Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Suzume Tidam Shiyam Kura Hong Ha 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 Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. There is also a Vajrasattva on the head of every living being throughout space. Focus on your own sense of Vajrasattva on your crown, but also the birds, the frogs, the people driving by, they're all being purified at the same time, just like you. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Munja Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pet. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Dinova Tishurdiro Meva Va Sudogaya Meva Va Subhagaya Meva Va Anuragya Meva Va Sarvasiddhi Medayasa Sarvakarma Sutsame Tidam Shiyam Kuro Hong Ha Vajrasattva Ahom Pe. And now all those beings have received exactly what they wanted. They walk off the scene completely satisfied, never to bother you anymore. The ground closes up. And the nectar, which is still flowing, now fills you completely like a gleaming crystal pitcher filling with luminous white liquid. That's you. Every cell, every corpuscle, every part of you is suffused with light, really has become light. There's nothing solid anymore, nothing coarse anymore. You are shining, clear, luminous. And seeing you in this way, Vajrasattva himself is so delighted, laughs and smiles and says, "My dear, dear child, you are completely purified. All that was in your way is gone." And laughing and smiling dissolves into light and melts into you, and now you are Vajrasattva. With a Vajra and a bell gleaming. And at your heart is the blue letter Hung, which for now you can imagine as a blue small letter H, if you like. It's the blue Hung, the bottom of the page. And we sing the two lines on top of page 15 describing what has just occurred and what is about to occur. We always sing our instructions and then we do them. Dorsam, that's Vajrasattva. Dorsam, light melts into me, beings, Buddhas, worlds, pure land. So Dorje Semba, who is Vajrasattva, has melted into you. And you are going to transform all living beings into Buddhas, Vajrasattvas, and all worlds and lands into pure lands or Buddha lands. And we do this by reciting the 6 syllables, Om Vajrasattva Hum, which you can probably just say from the sound, Om Vajrasattva Hum. And you feel that from your heart, 5 colored lights are expanding into the universe. Now when you learn and do this practice in more detail, each of these letters, the white Om is in front of the Hum, the yellow Banzra on the right, the red Sa behind the Hum, and the green Tva to the left. And light streams of those colors are expanding out into space. And as we say Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, first the light goes out and calls in all of the billions and millions of Vajrasattvas throughout space, and they all come and melt into you, thereby increasing your own stainless state as Vajrasattva. So lights pouring out of your heart, these 5 colors, going out and inviting, you can think of it as these positive energies, these purifying energies, which in this tradition we name Vajrasattva and see as embodied in the form that we already are embodying ourselves. You invite them and they're all going to melt into you while we sound this. Om Vajrasattva Hum, 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 Om Vajrasattva Hum. They've all melted into you, and now you are even more splendid with light, and the light you send out now goes throughout the world system. And you can take a few examples, specifically going to someone who's hungry, maybe in Africa or the Middle East or in Houston, and offering them food. Someone who's in fear, maybe in fear of bombs, and offering them shelter. Just going out and offering all the beings of the universe whatever it is they need, whatever it is they want, clothing, friendship, medicine, wealth, fame, whatever they want, you're offering it to them. And then finally your light is offering them what they may not even know they want, but which is the most exquisite possible happiness, their own complete state of enlightenment. Until finally, we'll spend about 2 minutes, finally everyone in the whole universe is transformed into the Buddha Vajrasattva. So you're purifying now the whole universe, just as you purified yourself. Om Vajrasattva Hom, 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 Om Vajrasattva Hom. So all these beings are so happy now. They're receiving exactly what they need in an ordinary sense from your light. And now they're going to receive an extraordinary receiving, the opening of their own wisdom eye, their own compassionate heart, and the unification of these, their complete enlightened state beyond all suffering. Om Vajrasattva Hom, Om Vajrasattva Hom, 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 Om Vajrasattva Hom, Om Vajrasattva Hom, Om Vajrasattva Hom. And now you are here as a luminous white Vajrasattva, surrounded by a universe of white, red, blue, green, and yellow Vajrasattvas. All is of light. And now this whole luminous universe begins to dissolve from the outside in and dissolves into you. You can do this, when you do this practice, you can do this as quickly or slowly as feels right to you. We'll do it relatively quickly now. So now you are Vajrasattva, and you begin to dissolve into your own heart. First into the luminous white letter Om, or you can imagine for now simply a small orb of white light, very small, in front of your heart. What was your heart? And just kind of look around, and your whole universe, from the inside it's a whole universe, just white light. Peaceful activity of the Buddhas associated with this. And then moving around to the right, you dissolve into the yellow Vajra, which you can imagine is a yellow dot of light for now. And again, your whole world now is yellow. And then moving around again, dissolving into the red Sa, behind what was your heart. And now you experience that red energy, that passionate compassion of the great bliss queen, that yearning and burning for truth and reality. And then as this red luminosity, you dissolve into green luminosity, the letter Twa, or for now just a green orb, quite small. And yet it's a whole universe, green, associated with the all-accomplishing wisdom of the Buddha. And now, as this luminous green, you dissolve into the Hung, a deep blue Hung, at the very center of what was your heart. Color of the sky, just before the light fades, that strong, royal, glorious blue. Or if you're imagining it as an H, you dissolve now from the bottom up, up, the letter Hung. And at the very top of this Hung, this luminous blue letter, which expresses the heart-mind of all enlightened beings, there's a small drop, tiny, tiny drop of this same deep blue light, and you dissolve into that. It's all that exists right now. And as this deep blue light You dissolve in toward your own center and vanish into space. And you taste that as much as you taste it. And then when thoughts again begin to arise, you arise again as before, the ordinary form, the world appearing in its ordinary form. But now you have a different sense because you have seen it all emerge from this luminous space into which it can always dissolve again. So there's something a little lighter about how you understand what exists. Not with your intellectual mind, but with your energy, with your deep sensibility that you're cultivating through this practice. So just sit with that for a minute. There's nothing more to do. You're just here. And take a moment, as always, with any meditation session, just take a moment to just drop into your own experience. You're not trying to make anything happen, do anything at all. You're just with yourself and see how you are. This is a way to allow your system to digest the practice. Not your mind, but your whole being. Okay. And then we close with our dedication, as before. Who's got the book? The Book of Names? Thank you. So again, if you're new to this, you can take your time learning this practice, and when you want to really learn it, come and talk to us. You can read about it in Tantric Practice in Nyingma or in Words of My Perfect Teacher. Some of you are quite new to all of this, so this will be too much to take in at this time. Some of you are not so new, and maybe it's just right for you. The main thing we want to encourage you to do if you're new is to see if you can establish a daily practice using the setting of attention practice that we've been doing. And good if you can include the refuge and bodhicitta there. Okay, sharing the merit on page 22. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Prayers for our teachers, starting with His Holiness the Dalai Lama on 25. In a pure land ringed by snow mountains, source of bliss and benefit for all, powerful Denzin Gyatso Chenrezi, lotus feet please stay hundreds of years, fill vast space with your activities. Om Swasti, flawless refuge sources, give blessings, teacher, protector, kind Dharma Lord, Jorme Tupten Gyatso, wondrous good, lotus feet ever, deeds everywhere. Namo Guru, on top of 27. Glorious, wise, K-Brighton, and kind song, now that your work here has subsided, please think of our pain, sad suffering. We pray you quickly take form again. Om Swasti, and in Harvey like the waxing moon, may your life and merit flourish, grow, through the skillful pundits' deeds, live long benefiting all you meet. By the true power of two Vajra truths, 3 jewels, 3 roots, Buddha's compassion, faithful Sangha and aspiration, may this prayer be realized at once. And the prayer for Dawn Mountain on page 32. May there be a great fine new temple, a great seat for all high practice learning, which having spread in all directions, male and female yogis everywhere, practice and further the teachings there. And dedicating our practice to all living beings throughout space, and especially tonight to our dear ones.
Emily Mercado, Franz Mercado, Carolina, Grandmom, Wendy, Sam, Gloria, Ana, Kiki, Opilius, Hense, Fernando, Teresita, Marta, David Garcia, Bardo, Andres and family, Pam, Jordan, Philip Jones, parents, Jen, Mom, Nena, Bob, Tibet, Forrest, Haley Moser, Job, Tina Borja, Rosa Glenn Riley and family, Adolfo, Winston, Doug, Ruderman family, Millie Schneider, David Merritt, Buddy Henderson, Sharon Jackson, Jerry Edgington, John Hyde, Megan Hyde, Jade Levinka, Nam Vo, Diana Marks, Yang Wang, Susan Nordmeyer, Michal Friedman, people of Tibet, especially those who self-immolated, people of Syria, victims and soldiers, Whitney Houston, Devin's mother, Ann G. Ajab, Claire V. Ajab, Don Drollinger, Bardo, Robert Gray, Terry Stevens' mother, Werner Kelber, Dan Kozort, Sharon Jackson, Buddy Henderson, David W., Andreas Reinhardt, victims of the high school shooting in Ohio, Sharon Smallwood, Jonathan Grossman, Perry's mom, Sherry Grossman, Brian Grossman, George Grossman, Ding Shi, Maria Neumann, Lauren Thompson, Lulu Grossman, Franklin, the cat.
And our prayer for realization, recitation after dedication on page 30. Things, sounds, minds are God's mantras, true forms, kayas and wisdom in endless play. Through this profound and secret practice, be one with the one taste heart lay. Thank you so much. If you have questions, we'll have time tomorrow. Does anybody have a burning question? Okay, we'll have some time tomorrow. Also for people who've been listening, if you have a Tara practice book, please bring it. If you don't, we should have enough for you. That just occurred to me tonight. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. It's wonderful having you during this time, and people are coming the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. You're very welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Daniela, that's Tiffany sitting in front of you. I want to introduce you. Okay, be well. Tomorrow, if you have questions, try to do some of the practices between now and tomorrow, because then you'll know what questions you have. And we'll have time for questions tomorrow, and we'll also start Tara tomorrow. And don't be overwhelmed if you're new, okay? Just go back to the attention practice.